we have learned, see, Unnati has come. Okay, so last class, what we have learned, or last classes, I will tell you, is regarding a few things, few topics covered. Number one, what is genetic material, its characteristic features. Number two, what is a genetic, which one is a genetic material, DNA or RNA or protein. Some experiments were there to prove it. And then the third experiment was packaging of DNA inside the nucleus. And then and then we are going to start now is about a replication of DNA. Since this the scheme was given by Crick, that one of the strand is always old, the other one is new every time. um, for this process and for this scheme, he has also given one experiment in which it was proved that with the help of taking heavy isotope of nitrogen, they have, separated DNAs and then grown, and then after separation, they have found that this scheme given was correct. That always, whenever the replication, since replication is one of the most important characteristic feature of being to be called as a genetic material, and it is found that DNA is able to, because of many reasons. One of the major reason is its complementary pairing. So all these things done, and this process of the scheme, or the process by which it replicates, is known as semi-conservative. That means in one line, one is always the old strand with which it prepares a new strand. So semi-conservative method. Now, further we are going to learn the same thing, that the same experiment was done, and then its process was explained. See, the scheme is different. It's how it actually conducts it, with which all enzymes and what all things are needed in it. That is different. So we are still continuing with the process of replication, semi-conservative replication of DNA. I'm going to start. Anybody has got any doubts? Shall we start?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
DNA replication is a fundamental process that all living organisms undergo to copy their DNA. It is an elaborate process that requires several enzymes such as helicases, topoisomerases, DNA polymerase, and DNA ligase to catalyze the replication reaction.
Okay. These are the four important enzymes which are needed for the process to be done. That means when we say it is a semi-conservative type of replication, or the process of replication happens with the help of these four very important enzymes. Okay, the first one is helicases, number two typoisomerases, DNA polymerase, and DNA ligase. Okay, once you learn this is going to help you for many other coming up experiments. You have to learn schemes, you have to learn. In that also, some of the names are going to repeat. So it's the enzymes, the name, whatever, if it comes somewhere else also, the work is same. For example, if I say DNA ligase, ligase enzyme is always used to attach something, like, to bring and something to attach to something. Okay, to hold it with something, we use the enzyme DNA ligase. And DNA polymerase, it's a polymer reaction, understand, one by one increased structure, it is increasing like in this length and all. So it is using an enzyme for the same to increase its length, this polymerase. So DNA polymerase is, DNA replication is happening, DNA polymerase. Okay, and then if you talk about topoisomerase, these are the ones which will bring the this, without this, the proper, like if there's some error happening inside, or instead of, along with adenine, instead of thymine, guanine comes, or some other combination comes which is not proper, it will identify topoisomerases. Okay, and then helicases are the enzymes. As I told you, replication is very much energy consuming kind of process, so it needs a lot of energy to do. So what the DNA does is always a small part of DNA only unfolds, and that unfolding, or that is known as to remove the two strands from that helically they are winded, right? So to remove that helical bond, it uses this helicases enzyme, which will unwind some part of DNA, and on that part of DNA these enzymes comes other three and then does the work. And then once the replication of that part is over, then it further helicases will move to the next part of DNA. So at a time the DNA replication never happens on whole complete DNA. It never happens. It is highly energy consuming process. So it needs energy a lot. So it does it in fragments. Some part, after over of that, it will unwind the other part. The enzymes, the helicases will move to the other part of DNA, and it forms, like, if you look at it, after unwinding, it looks like a fork. You know the fork? Yeah. So it looks like a fork also. So these are the enzymes which are needed. And like ligases, when you will see everywhere, wherever, now you're going to learn transcription, you'll learn translation, all these processes, ligase enzyme will come, polymerase enzyme will come. So these terms, when it comes, you should know polymerase enzyme is always meant for making the polymer chain for something, right? And now it is DNA, so DNA, otherwise it will be RNA. So the same way with ligase, attaching it, making it, fix it, like you can say the work of a glue, glue, sticking it something for someone, for somewhere, that is. So it goes like that. Okay.
In a cell, DNA replication begins at a specific point. For example, bacteria E. coli has a definite region where the DNA replication originates. Such a region
Okay, this, what they have shown you just now was the example of a prokaryote. Okay, bacteria. They're saying everywhere. Now, where to start? DNA is so precise. It informs. It has the information for everything. Like from where the replication has to begin. That information also it consists of. Okay?
is known as the origin of replication. This is also the reason why a vector is required when a piece of DNA needs to be replicated during recombinant DNA procedures, as it is the vector that provides the origin of replication.
Now, don't get confused here with the process. What they have just shown you about the plasmid and about the ori, that is origin of replication, is for the chapter 11. That is, you'll be learning biotechnology. In that, you'll be learning this circular thing. What they have shown you. Okay. The circular thing what they've shown you was a plasmid. A prokaryote consists of two types of DNA inside. Okay, one is the circular DNA, that is plasmid. Okay, and the other one is nucleoids, that where the DNA is. Okay, where we have learned about it. Now, this plasmids are both work independently. Huh? That's the reason the scientists are using plasmids from E. coli to work on, or to make vectors, or all sort of medicines and many things. Nowadays we are getting many things. No, all these things are being worked on E. coli and taking out their plasmids and allowing that plasmid is the circular DNA. Okay, further again it will come again and again. Don't get confused. That is the example of why. What do you mean by ori? Ori means origin of replication. Let me tell you, replication is very important. If we are able to, I'm just giving you a highlight of what they told you just now, or what we'll be learning in class chapter 11. It is when we be learning in biotechnology, what is the quality we want is, if I am manipulating on a DNA, something. Suppose I need a medicine, I'm making an insulin. Okay, insulin I'm making. I want the coding to be done. So on one DNA, if I code properly, because I cannot do it because it's not that easy. So manipulating on the codes of DNA and then bringing that artificial DNA, the codes, and fixing it somewhere, and I wanted to get it multiplied into billion times, million times, like in a product how much I want to make, like, okay. So making the changes and bringing it, attaching it to the plasmid, if I'm able to attach it on the plasmid with the help of ori is it because from where the replication has to begin, the code has to be replicated 1,000 times or many times, as many times I want it, right? So that actually is done on the plasmid, and then this plasmid is put inside again into the E. coli, that is a bacteria, and allowed to multiply, because they will replicate. Now they will replicate with the DNA what we have put in, so we will get the desired product. So just they wanted to give you the understanding of that. So nothing to be connected with uh, just now what they said about the plasmid and all, there is nothing to talk about that here. If you talk about, I will tell you the connectivity, the replication process, it has an ori. Just they wanted to give you the example of ori. Ori means origin of a replication. All DNA has got the information from where the DNA has to get replicated. If these informations are not crystal clear, there will be high chaos, or there will be chaos from where to begin, from where to end all this. Okay.
In some cases, like eukaryotes with large DNA molecules, there may be many origins of replication that finally merge with one another. During replication, first the enzyme helicases unwind and uncoil the DNA double helix into single strands of DNA by the breakdown of hydrogen bonds. However, the main enzyme that catalyzes the replication process after it begins at the origin of replication is DNA polymerase, which is said to be DNA dependent as it uses the DNA template to catalyze the polymerization of deoxyribonucleotides. The DNA replication process requires a high degree of accuracy because any error during replication will result in mutations. Thankfully, DNA polymerase is a highly efficient enzyme that catalyzes the reaction not only with accuracy, but also does it very swiftly. It catalyzes the
Okay, as you can see, this circular one, no? This circular structure which is moving, that is DNA polymerase. They're showing you how they are bringing the nucleotides and attaching. If you see, first of all, unwinding the part needs energy, so only a fraction of it unfolds or unwinds, that is with the help of helicases. And then the DNA polymerase enzyme, very particular, I told you, it is very particular to remove this helicases needs. Why the too much of energy? Because the bond between the two nitrogenous bases has to be removed, the double hydrogen bond, triple hydrogen bond, and everywhere it is that. So that, and then the DNA polymerase is, you can see how perfectly it is bringing the perfect, like catalyzing the this process and bringing the nucleotide and attaching the red color one with one of the nucleotide.
polymerization of a large number of nucleotides in a very short span. For instance, E. coli can replicate 4.6 into 10 to the power 6 base pairs of diploid content in 38 minutes. That is, the average rate of polymerization is 2000 base pairs per second.
2000 base pair per second in prokaryotes. Okay.
The replication process is also an expensive process in the sense that it requires expenditure of energy. The deoxyribonucleoside triphosphates that act as substrates also serve as the energy source for the reaction. The terminal phosphates in the deoxyribonucleoside triphosphates break down to provide energy as ATP.
Now here nothing to say again that ATPs are the energy currencies, right? They are used for this process.
Due to the high energy requirement, two DNA strands do not always separate completely, especially in the case of long DNA molecules. However, to facilitate the separation of a DNA helix, the enzyme topoisomerase cuts and rejoins one strand of DNA. This then unzips the double-stranded DNA. As a result, replication bubbles are formed that extend as a Y-shaped replication fork. This replication fork is actually a small opening in the DNA helix where replication occurs. However, there is a small catch. The DNA-dependent DNA polymerase enzyme can catalyze the replication reaction in only one direction, 5' to 3'. This causes...
Now, what is this 5' to 3'? Actually, you have learnt about DNA structure, and you know it that the DNA, the structure of DNA has got double strand, and both are having antipolarity. 3', one strand is from 3' to 5'. The other is 5' to 3'. Okay, and they're twisted in a double helical form, and that is what they're saying, that the catch is only in one direction the DNA polymerase enzyme can work, and that is 5 to 3
additional
dash.
complications. Replication on one template strand that has 3' to 5' polarity, also known as the leading strand, is continuous, whereas replication on the other template strand with 5' to 3', also referred to as the lagging strand, is discontinuous. These discontinuously replicated fragments, also known as Okazaki fragments, are then joined by the enzyme DNA ligase. Further, cellular proofreading mechanisms ensure the fidelity of DNA replication. In case wrong bases are entered into the helix of DNA by mutation, the enzyme nuclease can identify and correct them. They cut off the defective segment of DNA and introduce the correct segment, which is then joined by the enzyme DNA ligase. However, scientists are still to understand all the aspects of DNA replication. Although it is a known fact that replication of DNA in eukaryotes takes place in the synthesis phase of the cell cycle. The cells...
Okay, synthetic phases, you know it, the time of resting phase, interface between two, there's a synthetic phase, S phase coming up there where the replication happens. Now, in one more, in a few points, if I put it down, okay, before it enters the next topic, let me conclude it. I will put it in few points. Okay, the first thing, replication of DNA takes place in prokaryotes. There is no definite nucleus, so they don't need. But then in eukaryotes, since it has got a definite nuclear membrane, replication takes place in the synthetic phase inside the nucleus. Okay, and the second point, DNA has got places where it starts the replication known as ori. Okay, origin of replication happens from there. DNA, since it is a lot of it consumes a lot of energy, it takes place only to a confined places. It starts on a small fragment, and then after getting it over the replication of that part, then only further it moves. Okay, not at a stretch everywhere together. The third point, the enzymes needed in it. Number one, to unwind the fraction of or the fragment of DNA, enzyme helicases unwinds it. Okay, and after unwinding is DNA polymerase enzyme, which is highly, it is very fast reaction it takes. It does the polymerization takes place, but the only thing is it moves. See that this strand, there are two strands on it. One is known as lagging strand, which is 3' to 5', because DNA can do from 5' to 3'. It should be antipolar, no? Okay, opposite. That's why from the strand which is 3' to 5' is known as leading strand, while the other one is known as lagging strand. Okay, lagging in the sense, um, in between, it is opposite to 5' to 3'. As I said, DNA polymerase enzyme, this does the process on, I mean, from 5' to 3'. Okay, so it needs the opposite part of it, no, opposite strand. So 3' to 5', it does it without any problem. But what happens in the other strand, when it when it works on it on polymerization process, in between there are some fragments which is unwanted, has to be removed. Okay, there are some breaks in between, and that breaks are known as Okazaki fragments, which is later on removed, which you'll be learning further. Now further, when it comes, now you have to learn how they are removed also. Okay, so they are removed, and then after removing, only the process of ligases comes. Ligases means, I told you, it works like a enzyme which can attach like a glue. Okay, so it sticks the, after cutting the Okazaki fragments which are not needed, they attach the needed ones together. Then only it becomes a flow correct strand. And then this is happening on the lagging strand, while on the leading strand there's no need of all these things. Okay, and then nucleases. Okay, topoisomerases will help in the beginning only. Sorry, they will clip it from where to where it has to unwind. The helicases has to come and unwind. So from where to where it will come and clip it. Okay, topoisomerase. And then nucleases enzyme will come and once more, like a patrolling, it does, and it will precisely see if any kind of wrong kind of combinations have come, they will remove it. Okay, nucleases. So after all this, what you call it, this is how happening, this semi-conservative process of replication happening in the synthetic phase in eukaryotes, and prokaryotes, not inside the nucleus, but yes, on the DNA it happens. Okay, anybody wants to ask anything?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
Cycle 2 needs to be coordinated with the replication process, or a chromosome anomaly may occur. For example, a failure in cell division after DNA replication results in an inheritance disorder as polyploidy. Therefore, the process of DNA replication, which is the basis of biological inheritance, is conducted with accuracy with the help of various enzymes in a determined manner.
Just before this chapter, last chapter, we have learned that many disorders we have learned about, this Mendelian disorders, chromosomal disorders. So if there is no, they are telling you the importance of replication. Replication is very important for a normal, normal individual to be a normal, the proper positioning of the nucleotides is important. And as we have learned, even point mutation, one change, like from glutamic to valine, only one. Okay, one code get changed, and what happens? The anemic. Okay, point mutation we have learned. So they are saying like this, and if this happens, if this replication is not happening proper during the synthetic phases, what can happen further is a person can be multiple problems. And we have learned about Turner syndrome, Down syndrome, like this. Many disorders are there if total chromosome becomes replicated in not in a proper way. So it is a very important process happening inside our living bodies.
Proteins play a pivotal role in the proper functioning of any organism. The synthesis of proteins occurs in the cell in two phases, namely transcription and translation. Transcription takes place in the nucleus, where the DNA acts as a template for the synthesis of messenger RNA. It is a process by which genetic information in DNA is transferred to a molecule of messenger RNA. It is governed by the principle of complementarity, with one exception, that adenine now forms base pair with uracil instead of thymine.
We know the structure of RNA. Now we are entering into the next topic. Okay, transcription. Transcription in one line, if I say, it's the synthesis of mRNA, process by which we prepare messenger RNA. From DNA, mRNA is formed. RNAs are of three types: messenger RNA, that is mRNA. Then it is tRNA, that is transfer RNA. It is also known as adapter molecule. And the third one is ribosomal RNA. Here we are going to learn. See, the process for all the three is little differences is same. Like RNAs are formed from DNA. That is okay. But we are going to learn only for mRNA. Messenger RNA we are going to learn. While we will be learning translation, which will take place in the cytoplasm after this, we'll be learning that. In that, they will not tell you how tRNA is formed. Okay, how rRNA is formed. They are not going to explain you that, because the process is same as mRNA. Messenger RNA is formed from the DNA inside the nucleus. So transcription, translation, both are together. We call it as gene expression. Okay, the gene expression is coming up on it. It's not now, but that I'm telling you right now, so you should be, the point should be clear, that gene expression means first the forming of messenger RNA, so that it brings the information code for which protein it has to be made, and then coming outside the nucleus in the cytoplasm, it makes the protein. As in the beginning of this topic, we have understood, or we know it, that proteins are one of the most important ingredients of all the whatever is more formed inside our body. You talk about a cell, you talk about hormones, you talk about enzymes. Whatever is formed in our body is actually, protein is one of the most important ingredient in it. And now we are learning how proteins are synthesized. So what is translation? Process by which proteins are synthesized. Now for making or proteins or for translation, what we need is transcription. And transcription happens inside the nucleus on the DNA, and from DNA we get mRNA. So process of making mRNA is transcription. Process of making, which takes place inside the nucleus, and the process of translation, which takes place outside the cytoplasm, or sorry, inside the cytoplasm, outside the nucleus, in the cytoplasm. That is process of making protein or synthesizing protein is known as translation. So what they're going to tell you is, now we are going to learn the process of making mRNA. In that, the only slight change from the DNA structure to RNA is, we know that DNA has got, instead of we have learned about purines and pyrimidines. So instead of thymine, it has uracil. That we know it already. Now, so but the things are same. Adenine always with thymine it is in DNA. So in place of thymine, it is uracil. So here it is AU, okay, with GC and AU. Fine.
Messenger RNA carries the genetic information to the cytoplasm for protein synthesis, and hence it gets the name messenger. The transcription process is different from DNA replication. In replication, the total DNA of an organism gets duplicated, while in transcription, only one DNA strand gets copied into RNA.
Now, this is very important point to remember. The difference between transcription and replication. You have learned just now replication, in which the unwinding of the strand will happen. Of course, here also it will happen. Okay. Definitely we need the separation of the part where the transcription has to be done. Okay. And which part will get unwinded it depends upon the which protein has to be formed, because DNA carries the information of all the proteins, everything. So which protein has to be made, that part of DNA has to be, the code which is carrying the information of that protein has to be unwinded. So that particular, all our functions inside, you can say how precise it is. Okay, so only that part of DNA unwinds, and replication, or sorry, transcription happens. What is the difference? The first difference you can see, as I told you just now, one difference is instead of thymine, uracil will be there. The second difference is mRNA is only formed from DNA of only one strand, not the both strand. Okay, one strand only. There are 2-3 reasons why only one strand it is formed. Okay, they're telling you the reasons.
In case both DNA strands act as templates in transcription, two types of proteins will be produced. One with the correct sequence and the other with the reverse sequence of amino acids. Moreover, the simultaneously produced
Okay, now the problem in this is, if suppose both the templates, okay, both the strands or both the templates prepares messenger RNA, suppose, okay, it by mistake, if it is happening, and that is a disorder, huh? It's not fine, it's not, normally it never happens. If it is happening, it is abnormal, not fine, and the person can be seen with some problems. Okay,